What's up? It's Andy Grammer with Jag.
Hi, this is Carly Rae Jepsen, and you're listening to Jag.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Jonas hanging with Jag.
This is Heather Knox with the hottest Jag I've ever seen.
Ryan Seacrest with Jag.
It's B.O.B. checking in with my homie Jag. So much swag with my homie Jag.
It's the Jag Show Podcast.
Welcome in once again. Going to start with my tip of the week. And this week, I got to say, I talked to two different friends in two different fields who are both unhappy, looking for a career change. And luckily, I was able to connect each of them with somebody who'd been in a similar situation and made a leap to improve their own situation. And I mention this not because I'm the world's greatest networker by any stretch, but because it's a lot easier than you think to network. It's just a matter of having conversations with people. People get so caught up in this word networking, and it's like, oh my God, I don't know how to network. Just talk to people and let people know what's going on with you. You know, these absolute total suck fest that has been 2020 has stressed us all out in different ways. And while each of us is struggling with our own unique challenges, everywhere you look, our senses of humanity and empathy are coming through. You see it everywhere. Neighbors, coworkers helping each other out. And that means virtually too. So if you need help, ask. And you'd be surprised whom you might know through just 1 degree of separation. The joy of helping someone out is something we could all use right around now. All right, on to podcasting news. Links to all of these stories are in the show notes if you want to check them out. The new Westwood One and Cumulus Media survey shows how much more likely advertisers are to consider podcasts than just 5 years ago. 2/3 of brands have talked about advertising on a podcast. Also, podcast advertising represented only 15% of digital audio ad spending in 2019, just last year. But by 2024, that's going to have almost doubled to 29%. Latest concepts in Spotify's bid to take over the world include the idea of saving podcast episodes. Users can save episodes to their devices like you can music. They're also giving Spotify free users 30 minutes of streaming per day that's not going to count against your Wi-Fi or your data plan, and also an improved UI or user interface for car mode. Hopefully you can keep your eyes on the road a little bit better. And Spotify's also launched a new ad campaign called Music Meet Podcast, trying to get their music listeners to listen to podcasts as well. Meanwhile, on the Google Podcast side of things, they're working on something called Your News Update. It's basically trying to create a customized news playlist for you, just the way they'd create a customized Spotify playlist for you. It does have a long way to go, though. And they've also added Google Podcast a cast button to the Android version of the Google Podcast app that'll allow you to send content to your home devices. All right, Spotify, they may have Michelle Obama, but iHeartRadio has Bill Clinton and possibly Hillary in the future as podcast hosts. Personally, I think iHeart should be focused a little bit less on their app, a little bit more on their content creation, but hey, that's just me. Patreon has reached unicorn status in the VC world. Patreon has gotten a $1 billion with a B dollar valuation. That is a lot of people asking a lot of other people for money. And finally, I am releasing this episode of the Jag Show podcast on Friday, September 11th. Just important to mention that. Never forget, and a big thank you to all of those first responders, military and otherwise, who put their lives on the line for us every day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you next week. Later.
Thanks for listening to the Jag Show Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe in Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you get your podcasts. For help with your podcast, find Jag on social media at Jag in Detroit or on the web at jagindetroit.com.